Real Agriculture's coverage of the 2023 Canada's Outdoor Farm Show is brought to you by Pride Seeds. Discover the power of performance. Find out more by going to prideseeds.com.
Bernard Tobin here at Canada's Outdoor Farm Show over at the tillage of cover crops demonstration today with independent agronomist Pat Lynch. Pat, how's it going?
It is going great. Beautiful day, phenomenal crowd, and a lot of interest. You know what, Bert? One of the things that I really noticed this year really stands out is the number of young people, young farmers and young industry people. This is just phenomenal. Great people. It's been great.
Now, Pat, you've been doing tillage demonstrations here at the show for over 10 years. Why do you need to do it every year?
Okay, number of reasons. Good question. Number of reasons. So there's 40,000 people come here. So we may have 400 people here today. Obviously, everybody's not here. So you do it different years, and somebody's going to say, I did that last year, I'm not going to do it this year. You know what? I missed the tillage last 2 years. I'm going to take it in this year. So one is just the reality that some people come different years, and that's it. The other thing is, farmers are interested in tillage, and as things evolve, we see the benefits of tillage, and the tillage equipment has changed, the attitude has changed, but farmers are going to work the soil. That's who Ontario farmers are. That's farmers in this area, not only this area, in Quebec, the Maritimes, and in parts of Western Canada. They want to work the ground.
Let's talk about what you're seeing here today. What do farmers need to think about when they're tilling cover crops? How do they need to think about it from a strategic perspective?
Okay, so another good question. There's a lot of things. It starts, do I till in the fall or do I till in the spring? What soil type do I have? So with a cover crop, we want to have the ground covered as long as we can. And that means, the later that you can delay working a cover crop, then the better. So if you can do it in the spring, you've got a soil type that you can do it in the spring, that's going to be great. Now, a lot of soils, we'd rather have it done in the fall. So we want to wait as late in the fall as we can. Then you take a look at the piece of equipment. Some of these pieces of equipment that is working the ground now, if you work it too wet, you're going to do damage. So now you're going to have to use more secondary tillage in the springtime. So this is the art of tillage that science will never be able to handle. It's the farmer's knowledge of the soil, the piece of equipment, what they're looking for, and it all goes together. And the farmers come here and they say, I know what I want. I know what I want that soil to look like. And we've got 12, 14 pieces of equipment here, so they can take a look at the different pieces of equipment working here. You know what? That's what I want. You know what? I don't want that. I want this. So all the different setups and mechanics of the tillage, they can take a look at and figure out which one's going to be best for them.
What about spring versus fall? A big question. When should I go?
It is a big question, and some soils, erodible soils, light soils, soils that can be worked in the spring, obviously you would like to leave the cover crop until the spring. Some of these other heavier soils where if we leave it till the springtime, it's never going to dry out, or we're going to have such a mess, we gotta get it up. So that is, that's a saw, and again, that's the art of farming, and that's how the farmers know the land. And if I could just do a little side, I know where this wasn't in, is two things. Last year, there was too much tillage going on. We had a dry year and lots of time, and there was too much tillage, shouldn't have been on. The second thing is soybean crop. We have 3 million acres of soybeans, roughly 1 million, give or take, could get into winter wheat. There's 2 million acres, which is 25% of Ontario's 1, 2, and 3 land, with nothing on it. So we have got to start thinking, let's get our cover crop into a soybean crop.
Final question, and that's about the equipment we're seeing here today. It's changed a lot over the last 10 years. What have you seen here today, and do we need more evolution?
Okay, we do need more evolution. One is in the farmer's mind in terms of how much tillage, and some of these newer pieces of tillage equipment, they are able to go shallower, and that's what we want. We want to kill the cover crop and have a nice seed bed. Ideally, we want at least 30% cover going into the winter. So that means if you're starting now, you want maybe 40% of the ground covered. So you look at these different pieces of equipment, some have left more than that, others less. So I want a cover crop that has worked, that's worked down, but I still have 30% organic matter or tissue on top of that going into the ground. That's covered. The other reality is these pieces of equipment wear out, break down, and tillage equipment of 10 years ago, it's probably just worn out, so you need another new piece of equipment. So farmers say, okay, I had that, I wonder if there's something better, so I'm going to be looking. And things like, lubricated bearings that never have to be greased, a little thing, but that makes a big thing. Now, I got a little tractor, a little bush, and I got to grease it. That's a pain. So if I could have greaseless bearings like on this, that's a big step up for farms. So a lot of little things, the angle of the disc, the notching on the disc, the curvature of the disc, all of those things, the equipment companies, while the piece of equipment may look the same and have the same name, they've made a lot of minor adjustments and changes in alignment of these pieces of tillage equipment.